Spiš was an administrative county of the Kingdom of Hungary, called Scepusium before the late 19th century. It now lies in northeastern Slovakia, with a very small area in southeastern Poland. For the current region, see Spiš. Geography. Szepes County shared borders with Poland and with Slovakian counties as follows: Liptov, Jemma, Abiovi and Saris. After the late 18th century dismemberment of Poland, the border was with the Austrian province of Galicia. Its area was 3,668 square kilometers in 1910. The county became part of Czechoslovakia, apart from a very small area now in Poland, after World War I, and is now part of Slovakia. Capitals. The original seat of government of Szepes County was Spiš Castle, which was constructed in the 12th century, unofficially from the 14th century, and officially from the 16th century. Until 1918 the capital of the county was Livoka. Subdivisions. From the beginning of the 15th century, the county was subdivided into 3 processes. The number was changed to 4 in 1798. In the second half of the 19th century, the number of processes was increased. In the early 20th century, the subdivisions of the county Spiš were. History. This article only covers the history of Spiš when it was part of the Kingdom of Hungary. For a complete history of the region, see Spiš. Early history. The southern part of Spiš was conquered by the Kingdom of Hungary at the end of the 11th century, when the border of the kingdom ended near Kesmarok. The royal county of Spiš was created in the second half of the 12th century. In the 1250s, the border of the Kingdom of Hungary shifted to the north to Padawa-Linik, and in 1260 in the northwest to the Dunajec River. The northeastern region around Kniecna and Stara Lubovna were incorporated only in the 1290s. The northern border of the county stabilized in the early 14th century. Around 1300, the royal county became a noble county. The subsidiary of the Hungarian chamber responsible for eastern Slovakia and adjacent territories was called the Szepes Chamber, and it existed from 1563 to 1848. Its seat was the town of Kassa, today Košice, sometimes Epes. Counts of Szepes. The rulers of the county were from the following Hungarian noble families: Zapolia, Thurzo, Csaky. Seeds of the 10 lance-bearers. Until 1802, there was a seat or parvis comitatus, known as seeds superior or seeds ex lanciatorum, which was situated to the east of Poprad in present-day southern Spiš, and whose origin is unknown. From the 12th century onwards, its inhabitants were known as the guardians of the northern border. The territory of the county was populated by Germans, Hungarians and Slavs. In 1802, when its inhabitants decided to merge the Seeds with Szepes County, it included the following settlements: Abrahamovska, Betlanovska, Filis, Hadjusovska, Horka, Hoslis, Janovska, Komarov, Levkovce and Makalovska. Originally more villages were included. The lance-bearers were squires. The Seeds was a collection of non-contiguous areas which did not constitute a continuous territory. It had an autonomous government similar to that of normal Hungarian counties, but was partly subordinated to the head of Szepes County. Until the 15th century, its capital was Spišskia Stvrtok. Following this there were various capitals, and after 1726 the capital was Betlanovska. Arrival of the Germans. Many of the towns of Szepes developed from German colonization of existing Slovak settlements. The German settlers had been invited to the territory from the mid-12th century onwards. The major immigration came following the devastating Mongol invasion of 1242, which turned Szepes, like other parts of the Kingdom of Hungary, into a largely depopulated area. There was no no significant Slavic population remaining, and as it was a part of Hungary, King Berthold IV of Hungary invited Germans to colonize the Sips and other regions of present-day Slovakia, present-day Hungary and Transylvania. The settlers were mostly traders and miners. The settlements founded by them in the southern parts were mainly mining settlements. Consequently, until World War II, Spiš had a large German population. The last wave of Germans arrived in the 15th century. In the early 13th century, the people of Sips created their own religious organization called the Brotherhood of the 24 Royal Parish Priests, which received many privileges from the local provost. It was re-established after the Tatar invasion in 1248. At the same time, the German settlements of the Horned and Poprad basins created a special political territory with its own administration. They received collective privileges from King Stephen V in 1271, which were confirmed and extended by King Charles I in 1317. Because the Scepusian Germans had helped him to defeat the oligarchs of the Kingdom of Hungary in the battle at Rozgany-Rorinovska in 1312. The territory was granted self-government privileges similar to those of the royal free towns. In 1317, the special territory included 43 settlements, including Loks, Lavoga and Kesmark, which however withdrew before 1344. From 1370 the 41 settlements of the territory subscribed to a uniform special Sips law system. Initially, the special territory was called Communitas Saxonum de Sepis. By the mid-14th century, the territory was reduced to 24 settlements and later the name was changed to Provincia 24 Opedorum Terrae Sepusiensis in Latin. The province was led by the Count of Sips, elected by the town judges of the 24 towns. There was yet another privileged territory in the Spiš. Until 1465, the privileged German mining towns in southern Sips, Jakelfalva, Jaklovska, Margitfalva, Margikany, Zomolnik, Smolnik, Hofen, Slavinki, and Korompa, Krompaki, were also exempt from the power of the Count of Spiš. The poining of Sips towns and the province of 13 Sips towns, the province of 24 Sips towns, was dissolved in 1412, when, by the Treaty of Lubolo, King Sigismund of Luxembourg, ruler of Hungary, pawned 13 of the towns of the former province, as well as the territory around the Stara Lubovna, to Poland, in exchange for the amount of 37,000 Czech 60 groschen coins, that is, approximately 7 tons of pure silver. This was to finance his war against the Republic of Venice. The pledged towns were to be returned to the Kingdom of Hungary as soon as the loan was repaid. Nobody expected the pledge would take 360 years to redeem. From 1412 the pawned towns were officially known as the Province of 13 Sips towns. It was led by a count elected each year by a council including representatives of the towns, past mayors, and a previous count. The 13 main pawned settlements did not form a continuous territory. They included Lubica, Poprad, Matejovska, Spiška Sobota, Straszpod Tatrami, Vilka, Ruskanovska, Spiška Bela, Spiška Novovi East, Spiše Podrady, Spiše Vlechi, Tvierozna, and Vrbov. The towns kept the privileged status. The Polish king ceded his interest in the towns to Count Sebastian Lubomirski in 1593, whose family then became effectively the proprietors of the province. The remaining 11 of the former 24 Sips towns, which created the province union of 11 Sips towns in 1412, were not able to maintain the privileges. As early as 1465 they were fully incorporated into the Szepes County, i.e., they became subjects of the lords of the Spiš castle. Some of them gradually turned into simple villages and lost their German privileges. Having privileges from both the Polish and the Hungarian crowns gave the province of 13 to significant commercial advantages over Livoka and other towns in the province of 11. The pawned territories remained politically a part of the Kingdom of Hungary, while the revenue from the territories went to Poland. Poland also held some administrative powers in the area and was entitled to appoint a governor-administrator for the territories, with his seat in Stara Lubovna, to manage them economically and to position guards at important road crossings even outside the pawned territories. One of the first Polish governors of Szepes was the famous Knight Zalesizany. Due to the complex political and economic status, the towns declined economically. Attempts of the Kingdom of Hungary to repay the debt failed and later the will to pay declined. After alleged mistreatment of the towns, especially by Theodore Constantin Lubomirski, Maria Josepha of Austria, and Count Heinrich Brühl, Maria Theresa of Austria decided to recover them by force. She took advantage of the Polish noble insurrections in the second half of the 18th century and occupied the towns in 1769 without debt repayment. This act was confirmed by the First Partition of Poland in 1772. In 1773, the pawn was cancelled. In 1778, the 13 towns regained the privileges of 1271. The privileges were extended to the other 3 previously pawned towns, and this newly formed entity was named Province of 16 Szepes towns. The capital of the province was Iglo, also known as Nudorf and later as Spiš. However, the privileges were gradually reduced and some 100 years later only religious and cultural rights remain. Finally, the province was dissolved altogether and incorporated into Szepes County in 1876. 16th–19th centuries. The Szepes County prospered not only from being situated on trade routes, but also from its natural resources of wood, agriculture and, until relatively recent times, mining. In the 15th century and later, iron, copper and silver were all exploited in the south of the region. Its relative wealth during this period, and its mixture of nationalities and religions, resulted in it becoming a major cultural center. Many schools were founded, and the town of Livoka became a major center for printing in the 17th century. The buildings and churches of the region's towns, and the skills of schools such as those of the carver master Paul of Livoka testify to this affluence and culture. Until the end of the 17th century, the area was often disrupted by wars, uprisings against the Habsburgs, and epidemics. But from the 18th century onwards, relative stability enabled faster economic development. Many craft guilds were founded, and by the end of the 18th century over 500 iron mines were operative in the south. Such prosperity naturally meant that the churches paid great interest to the region. Lutheran Synod, the so-called Spiš Synod, took place in Spiš in 1614. It discussed the Protestant organization of the Szepes and Szepes counties. In the Catholic sphere, a separate Szepes bishopric was created in 1776 with its seat at Spišská Kapitula. The spirit of nationalism, growing in the 19th century, moved also in Spiš. In 1868, 21 Szepesi settlements sent their demands, the Szepes petition, to the Diet of the Kingdom of Hungary, requesting special status for Slovaks within the kingdom. In 1871, the railway came to Szepes, and this was to have profound consequences. On the one hand, it enabled economic and industrial expansion. On the other, it bypassed the old capital of the region, Livoka, and favored the growth of centers on its route, such as Poprad and Spišská Nová Ves. In the aftermath of World War I, Szepes County became part of newly formed Czechoslovakia, as recognized by the concerned states in the 1920 Treaty of Trianon. Demographics. In 1900, the county had a population of 172,091 people and was composed of the following linguistic communities: Magi, Szepes, Kos, total, Slovak 99,557. This figure includes 13% Gorals, German 42,885, Ruthenian 14,333, Hungarian 18,658, Romanian 314, Serbian 5, Croatian 37, other or unknown 4,117. Gypsies, Serbs, Jews. According to the census of 1900, the county was composed of the following religious communities. Total: Roman Catholic 114,130, Lutheran 27,665, Greek Catholic 22,189, Jewish 7,234, Calvinist 795, Greek Orthodox 68, Unitarian 10, other or unknown 10. 1910. In 1910, the county had a population of 172,867 people and was composed of the following linguistic communities. Total: Slovak 97,077, German 38,434, Hungarian 18,658, Ruthenian 12,327, Romanian 532, Serbian 145, Croatian 65, other or unknown 5,629. According to the census of 1910, the county was composed of the following religious communities. Total: Roman Catholic 117,497, Lutheran 26,459, Greek Catholic 19,638, Jewish 7,475, Calvinist 1,391, Greek Orthodox 326, Unitarian 13, other or unknown 68. Nationalities. According to censuses carried out in the Kingdom of Hungary in 1869, the population of Szepes County comprised the following nationalities: Slovaks 50.4%, Germans 35%, Ruthenians 13.8% and 0.7% Magyars. The sudden increase in listed Hungarians after 1869 may be due to statistical interpretation. It may also be attributable to assimilation, Magyarization, most notably of the German minority. The figures do not make clear how Jews were categorized, but the numbers must have been substantial, as many of the towns had synagogues and Jewish cemeteries still survive in Kaczmarek, Lwowa and elsewhere. Up until now, there is a significant population of ethnic Poles. The Hungarian censuses ignored the Polish nationality. All ethnic Poles were registered as Slovaks. There was also a very strong process of Slovakization of Polish people throughout 18th–20th centuries, mostly done by Roman Catholic Church, in which institution the local Aboriginal Polish priests were replaced with Slovak ones. Also, the institution of schooling was replacing the Polish language with Slovak language during classes. Up until the 12th century, there were no Hungarians in the region. The Slovak and German inhabitants came to Spiš in following centuries in a process of colonization in the Carpathian wilds by Hungarian crown. All localities were inhabited by Poles, as a result of a natural process of colonizing the lands along the rivers, going upstream. In this case, the river was Poprad, which flows into the Vistula and thus belongs to the drainage basin of the Baltic Sea, and all colonists originated from Sudecizna and Podhale region of southern Poland. Economy. Economic activity in the region was principally based on agriculture.